and today I'm going to be discussing all the changes that were made to the way of getting Elder Dragons in Day of Dragons. So there wasn't any changes made to the Elder Dragons themselves, just the kind of way you get them, the way you search for mushrooms, so I'll go over all of that because it's kind of very confusing at this point. So I already made a video like this in the past, but currently that video is kind of useless. So a new type of mushroom has been added, it's the green mushroom, and this mushroom is just the most confusing thing ever, because not all of them follow the same rules. I mean, the things that they all have in common is they will decrease your hunger, they will not make you thirsty, and they will heal you a bit, but only by like 10%, so it's mostly kind of useless. But everything else, the way that, because they're supposed to be like the new like elder mushrooms, but they sometimes randomly change either into the blue ones or the yellow ones, and they don't always change, and some of them don't. It's so weird. So I will link a map in the description which people made where they found all the mushrooms. I think maybe there's some more that people didn't find yet, but all of the ones that are currently found are on that map, and there you can see it. I'll leave it in the description. So there's 24 green mushroom spawns, and those green mushrooms sometimes change into yellow or blue, and there's 2 of the yellow ones which are always yellow, and 2 that are always blue. So obviously the most popular ones are the ones who constantly spawn either the blue or the yellow ones, and this is still a problem with the camping. I will get into that a bit later, but how clans kind of like, because these mushrooms spawn exactly 1 hour after being eaten, so the clans can camp them, and if you find yourself near those mushrooms, they will probably kill you if you don't manage to escape. So if you play on official servers, you will know that they restart the server every day at like a similar time. So the elder mushrooms don't spawn immediately after the restart, so it can like prevent abusing that on like private servers. So on the map when there are green mushrooms, after the restart they will always be green, and you first need to eat them, and then only after they can actually become either a yellow or a blue or again green. So unlike those 4 locations that I mentioned, they don't have an exact timer when they respawn. It can take anything from 30 minutes to 120 minutes. So one of the more important locations for becoming an elder is the Crater Lake. So this is quite strange. So after the reboot, not all of these mushrooms actually become green immediately. Like this is why I said like the green mushrooms are confusing, because they don't all follow the same rules. And there's also 5 of them, so you have a good chance of finding at least 1 or 2 elder mushrooms. So the next old location is the Mountain Lake. So there the mushroom will always spawn as red, but then when you eat it, it will either spawn as green, blue, or yellow. That's just like, what the hell? So if we go more like northwest, there's a small swamp. I mean, it's small compared to the new swamp they added recently. And there also the mushrooms will first be, there's 3 of them, and they will first be red, and then they'll change. And for the rest of the green mushrooms, they will spawn as green. So the chances of actually finding a mushroom that you need are unfortunately quite low. Like usually when I go through, when I sweep through the Elder Forest, where there's supposed to be like 14 green mushroom locations, I usually find like 1 or 2 which are not green. So before the 1K version, the mushrooms were usually like located very close to each other, so even on a shadow scale, you didn't need to fly all the time, you could just run through the forest. But now they're more spread out, so you'll need to fly if you are a shadow scale. If you're an acid spitter, you would run either way. But if you're a shadow scale, you'll need to fly, and that's bad because other people can see you, especially on PvP servers. That means you'll spend a lot of time searching for these mushrooms and probably find like 1 or 2 actually suitable for your species. And also, you might not even find that because on very populated servers, probably somebody else ate it before you. So now that the mushroom spawn locations are shared for yellow and blue mushrooms, that's kind of a problem in a way, because before, for example, if you were a shadow scale, you didn't need to go to the annual locations where there's only acid spitter like mushrooms. But now you kind of have to, and if you find, for example, an acid spitter mushroom as a shadow scale, so are you gonna leave it or not? Because if you do leave it, then like it's not gonna change, just somebody else might eat it. But if you eat it, then next time you come it might be a blue mushroom. So now this is a question of what you should do. So before the green mushroom was introduced, the mushroom of the like other species was poisonous to you, but now that's not the case. On PvP servers, there's no rules against eating like the mushroom of a different species, so like it can respawn later, so it's up to you. But on PvE servers, it's probably better to just type it in the chat and say like, oh, there's a mushroom here, so somebody else can come and eat it, because they can't hurt you. What I think it's best to do, and what me and my dad do, is one of us is gonna play on a shadow scale, one of us is gonna play on an acid spitter. So you have both species, so no matter which mushroom you find, you will use it. And it's also much safer if somebody attacks you, because then like one of the dragons is gonna have a better defense against the attacker. And now let's talk about probably one of the biggest problems in this whole game, which is camping mushrooms. It is done on both PvP servers and PvE servers. On PvE servers, people are just gonna like lay down on the mushroom so you can't eat it, and they'll just wait for like their friend or clanmate to come and eat it, so they'll move then. That's a problem. In the previous versions of the game, camping actually increased like the time it would take for a mushroom to respawn, but that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. On PvP servers, if somebody does that, you can just like shoot them, attack them, but also the biggest problem is just clans. Clans are gonna camp the mushrooms and keep them for themselves, and one person can't fight a whole clan. So this was a problem that so many people are complaining about, and on recent dev hangouts, the actual creator of the game acknowledged it and said he's trying to fix it, trying to find a way to actually have like a permanent solution to this problem. So one of the solutions people suggested is to make it possible to become an elder without eating the mushrooms, but it would just like be very slow. But that is an option that the creator doesn't want, because that would just allow people to go hide somewhere where not many people are, just eat and drink and wait to grow up, and that shouldn't be rewarded with an elder dragon. So the idea is that maybe they'll like randomize the spawn locations of the mushrooms, so I guess we won't be able to have maps and stuff, which would make sense because then camping wouldn't be possible, but it would still be quite hard. I mean, yeah, you have the whole smelling ability now, but it doesn't go that far, so maybe like if they increase the area you can smell, maybe that would be better or something like that, but I don't know. I'm just hoping this gets fixed eventually. And now let's talk about the probably most important thing. So in the last major update, 1.L, the number of mushrooms actually required to get an elder was smaller. It has been reduced by 20%. So before, for the shadow scale, you needed 80 mushrooms, but now you need 65. And for an acid spitter, you used to need 60, and now you need 48. So this wasn't actually mentioned anywhere in the release notes, so people are quite confused about this, and they couldn't exactly find out how many it took. So I have decided to go around and record every single time I ate a mushroom and count them, so I can exactly find out how many. So now I will put on a screen like a small guide on how to do this, so I don't need to exactly explain it if you want to do it for yourself, even though I already said exactly the numbers. But I said that for the shadow scale it takes 65 and not 64. So this is because when the progress bar with the shadow scale is full, it doesn't actually make you an elder, you need to eat one more. But with the acid spitter, when the progress bar is full, you're immediately an elder. On one of the recent developer hangouts, the lead developer Zhao said that the actual number of mushrooms is not fixed. Instead, it's being calculated on like the growth rate. And for example, the new dragon will be added soon, the Flame Stalker, and for that dragon, it will take way longer to actually like grow up, so it will probably require even more mushrooms to become an elder. So if you want to see that dragon, I actually had early access for like an hour to record a video about it, so I'll link that in the description if you want to see all the animations and stuff. It is such a gorgeous dragon and I love it so much, and I cannot wait for it to get in the game. So I'm guessing that is the reason why they decreased the growth time for the shadow scale and the acid spitter, so they could like make it better when the actual new dragon comes. So this last advice is very important and you gotta keep it in mind. I mean, this situation won't happen often, but if you have the chance of eating 2 mushrooms that are both for you in like less than 30 seconds, don't do it. So there's a timer. After you eat 1 elder mushroom, it will take 30 seconds for you to grow like that 1 point that you needed. But if you eat another mushroom within those 30 seconds, the progress bar will only move once and the second mushroom will pretty much be wasted. So please don't do that. So when you eat the first mushroom, the message will say you feel stronger, but if you eat the other one before the 30 seconds has passed, it will only say it's delicious. Anyways, that will be pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye!